Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. And here's our legend segment. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we got another great legend from the great city of Delray Beach, Florida. I got with me tonight not only a Delray legend, a Seacrest High School legend, Mr. Horace Bush. Horace, welcome to the show.
All right, how y'all doing again?
We're doing good, man. Boy, it's so good to have you on, man. And I've got so many memories of you, right? And then here's the most amazing thing. I never got a chance to see you play with my eyes. But I heard you Friday nights on that radio. And Buck Ward was calling the games, man. It was a special moment. But we're going to talk about all that down the road, man. So let's just get into it. So Horace, you born in Delray?
No. Actually, I was born in Barnwell, South Carolina.
Okay.
My family my grandfather moved the family down there.
Mm-hmm.
I was 3 years old.
Wow.
So Delray is really what I know. I mean, where I was born at. I've been up there many times, but I don't know the area and the people that was raised there. My uncle and aunts told me about a lot of things, but again, I go up there now. I have to ask somebody to tell me where to go.
Right. Well, Delray is a city that people migrated to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my family on both sides of the family. Of course, we're not originally from there. My generation, I can say I'm from Delray, right. But my parents, my dad's side, my paternal side, they're from the islands, from the Bahamas, the Butler side, and then the Weatherspoon side, the Bowie side. We migrated from South Carolina through Georgia to Quincy, Florida, before we headed to Delray. Farming. Farming was a big thing in Delray back in the old days.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how most of us got there, right? That's how most of us got there. Well, man, so let's just talk about it. I've had several guys from Delray on the show.
Yeah.
And it's always a pleasure to have them on and to hear what they got to say about our little city, right? And so before we get to the football field, we're going to talk about the streets of Delray, right? Because I had a group on one time from Southwest 6th Avenue.
That's the street. That's the street, buddy.
I had a group on. And let me tell you who I had on. I had Doug Parker. I had Charles Ferguson, Prince Aircraft.
Okay.
I had Anthony Clay, a.k.a. Butterbean, right?
Yep.
And Bubba Brown was supposed to be on, but he couldn't make it. Ended up being his mom's birthday.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, we had a good time, man. And of course, you were on raised right there. That's where you lived on 6th Avenue.
Right there on 6th Avenue.
Randy Strong.
Right up the street. Randy was at the top of the street on Atlantic there, which was a little two-way road.
Right. His brother Keith and and Vince.
Yeah, Vince.
And then Parker family. Right now, they're like the Cornelius family. There's a whole bunch of them, right?
Yeah. And so the Cornelius family was a whole bunch of them too.
Man, you had Mike, you had Doug, you had Bernard, you had Thad. Man, just a plethora of great football players.
Yeah.
And then Frog Alley wasn't that far away.
Right down the street.
Right down the street. Right?
It was a ton of athletic guys grew up in Delray, man, and it just you just couldn't count them all. It was a lot.
It was a lot. So now, Horace, I'm talking to those guys, right? And so now I played football with a handful of those guys, and I can say this: they can play ball, right? And I'm gonna say probably the more physical players came from south side of 6th Avenue.
We had to be. He's passed on now. God bless him. Zach, we call him Zach.
Yes,
that's what we know. His name was Alfred Strong, but we call him Zach. We grew up. You didn't. If you got into it with another guy, or you and him, you didn't like something, you immediately stop it. Get the gloves, put the gloves on. That's how we sell it.
That's how you sell it, right?
That's how he sell it. Naturally, you get mad with somebody hit you wrong or block you wrong or did something to you, but he didn't let you just fight that way. You put on the gloves and battle it out, and then he make you shake hands when it's all said and done. Or whoever got the best licks today, you know, that's how we grew up, man. And
that's right.
That's where everybody gathered at.
Mm-hmm.
I know, starting from I would say from Atlantic Highway down to 2nd Street was the 2 blocks in between there was all of us living there. But now when you pass 2nd Street and hit 3rd Street and 4th Street, you're getting down in Frog Alley. Then you're getting down in there. And that was another set of a lot of guys down there, man. And it's like everybody had. You ever seen the movie The Warriors? That comes on.
There you go.
Everybody had their little territory, man.
Everybody had their little territory.
All of us from was 06 right in that group right there, and it was a bunch of guys, not but a bunch of guys. Not a lot of girls, a bunch of guys that was raised up there.
But you know what's amazing, man? Because I was fortunate to move around as a kid in Delray, right? And so I remember staying in Carver Park, right?
Yeah.
Then I remember I moved to 12th Avenue right behind Coach Coffee. Coach Coffee lived on 13th.
Yeah, sure did.
Matter of fact, we lived in a duplex right behind the Coffees, right? And so, me and Larry Coffee, we're best of friends to this day, right?
Okay.
So that was my boy. We played a lot of ball there, Carver Park. And then all my relatives lived on the north side. And so I played over there in Ponce Heights with Tony Scott, Vic Mitchell, Toot Mitchell, Smitty Boo.
Yeah, I remember them young men.
All those guys, I grew up playing ball with them. And then, of course, you go to Jefferson Manor, you got Anthony Penn, you got Popeye.
Okay.
You got Pop Grover. You had all those guys over there, right?
Right.
You walk down 10th, going back to Atlantic, you got Dennis Matthews, Rock.
Yeah.
Then on 11th, you had Greg Dobson, right?
Yeah.
Dude, man, we had some dudes in the city.
The city was a lot. The whole city was athletic, and Carver High School.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that information that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get a good history of until I got older. Carver has been a great school, one of the top schools in the county, Palm Beach County, outside of Roosevelt up in West Palm Beach.
Right.
Carver had was the next top high school in this county for blacks now.
That's right. That's right.
Blacks, because Roosevelt was number one because the county seat being right here in West Palm Beach.
Absolutely.
They was acknowledged with the first all black school.
Oh, right. Exactly.
First, and then come Delray. Because there was no black school in Boca.
There was
none in Lake Worth.
The
people from Lake Worth and Boca had to come to Delray.
They had to go to Delray. That's right.
Come to Delray.
And that's amazing, Horace, because we talk about it. I mean, right here, we started to talk about the different communities in Delray with all the athletes, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about all the little pockets in Delray. But that little town, man, and then when you add the kids from Boynton.
And that's what I was going to say. You had them from Lake Worth and Boynton.
And Boca, right?
And Boca.
The little Pearl City, little part of Pearl City.
That little city right there. Right? Yep. That little,
so all of them were at one high school.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's like, man, listen, you have to be very good to play there. Because, when you I think about your junior year in high school, right? Over at Carver, the seniors in the backfield was Abraham Wooten, Pop Grover, and Greg Dobson. They had 3 horses, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All of them was good athletes.
Great athletes. And then Randy was playing fullback.
And linebacker.
Right. Right. And then when those guys leave, Gopher, Lester Flowers.
Yeah. Somebody may not know Gopher, but I don't know who would know. They know that was his name.
So Lester goes from playing a little wide receiver. Then his senior year, he plays tailback for Carver.
Right.
Right.
That had Coach Coffee. He knew how to use his athletes the best to their ability.
Yes, he did.
And that's why they were a good team. They were good. I think they won back-to-back state championships.
They did. But I tell you what's incredible to me. For me, all those guys were my heroes, right? I mean, all of you, not just the Carver High players.
It was a lot of guys there. That was a very, very, very athletic.
Yeah, not just the Carver High players, but the Seacrest players too. And so when we add y'all to the bunch, because we have to do that, because you're Delray products, right? We add you to the bunch. And let me tell you something. Now, we always talk about Carver High won back-to-back state titles. The first year that the all-black schools were allowed to play the white schools in the playoffs, right, was 68, and Carver won the state title. Matter of fact, before that, the first part of 68, they say the winner of 68, even though we don't have no winners in South Florida, the first part of 68, Roosevelt High School went 27-0 in basketball.
Right. First time.
Floyd Andrews coached that team with a guy named Ricardo, Rick Easley, the Laurie guy. They were loaded with talent, and they went undefeated in basketball.
Right.
They were scoring. This is the kind of talent we're talking about, y'all. I hope y'all listen, paying attention. I know I brag on my hometown for all you viewers, but I have to, because this, what I'm telling you, is just amazing. They played 8-minute quarters.
100 points.
I think the highest score they scored in the game was like 160. Think about that. And they bust the clock too many times you couldn't even count them all. So they were scoring 148, 120, 130. They didn't have a 3-point line, Horace.
They had some amazing guys there, man. Gregory Lawrence, I would never forget this guy. I mean, he was a pure shooter. He could shoot that ball. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Did you ever Greg Laurie?
Oh, yes.
From out of West Palm Beach here? That cat was bad, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, I remember I went to a game seeing and this, they was I don't know the thing. He was a Pop was guarding him. They was trying to tell hold him Pop. Well, Pop couldn't hold him though. That boy could shoot that ball too good. I don't know. Nobody could hold him because he went on to be a great shooter, and he went to college and everything.
Right, and played.
But a lot of guys went off. We all but it just wasn't in the stars to go at pro.
Oh, exactly. But they were great players, and so they did what they did. And then that was the top of 68, and then the fall of 68, Carver High won state title. And then so we talk about being ahead of your time. And you talked about Coach Coffey, how he knew how to play his talent. Greg Dobson, was a star running back, but Greg Dobson caught a lot of balls out the backfield.
Oh yeah,
I'm not talking about no check downs. They were putting Greg out there. Greg was running corner routes. They was throwing him the ball downfield like he was Billy Plummer or Barry Hill or Alfonso Wilson, right?
Oh yeah,
and here's the real proof of that pudding. Was Anthony Penn threw for over 4,600 yards his last 2 years in high school. In an era, Horace, where we didn't throw the football. We run the football. We throw when we have to.
Yeah.
Because I know at Seacrest, y'all didn't throw that much, because the same system you ran in high school, I ran the same system.
I think what it called? The wing, the double wing or something?
Double wing. That's right.
What called Wilder had? Y'all ran the same plays.
I ran the same plays.
I
ran the same plays, man.
Yeah,
so that offense had been around a lot, and it was very effective.
Yeah.
But as a former quarterback myself, when I see what Penn did, I scratch my head. That was amazing. But let's get on with this here, man. So Delray is loaded.
Always has been.
Delray was so loaded back in your day that even guys at the all-black high school had to wait their turn. Some of those guys,
just too many there. It's too many in one city. So we all couldn't play on the same team.
Some of those guys who played at Carver couldn't play until their senior year.
Yep.
And then some of you guys, when did black when did African Americans start going to Seacrest? Was it 65? Yvonne Odom integrated Seacrest and what? Was it 65?
Because let me see. Was it 65?
It was somewhere in there.
You're right. It was in the middle of the 60s.
It was somewhere in there.
Because even up into when we graduated, we could go to any school we wanted to go.
Right.
We wasn't busted. We wasn't busted. I mean,
Right.
forced to go there.
Right.
We went there by choice.
A choice. Absolutely.
But in 70, they was forced to go there. Everybody was forced to go to different schools because
absolutely.
You know what it was if they didn't do that, it would have still been a lot of championships right out of Delray school, right out of Delray coming from there because it's just too much talent in one little spot that they all could play.
But here's what I want to say. All right, we know about Carver, but we got to talk about Seacrest. See, this is important. People don't know. What I'm about to talk about right now, people don't know.
No.
All right. So, Horace, when you were at Seacrest High School, you never lost a game to anybody in Palm Beach County in your 4 years of high school. Am I right?
In Palm Beach County?
In Palm Beach County. I don't think y'all lost nobody in Palm Beach.
Not in high school.
Not in high school.
We lost a team from Orlando and called Edgewater.
You lost a Satellite 1 year.
We lost a Satellite to Edgewater.
Right.
Vero Beach.
Right.
Vero beat us. The Indians. Them boys beat us. They beat us the identical same scores. We beat them my junior year. They beat us our senior year. They beat us the same scores.
Exactly.
Identical score. Identical.
Bobby,
excuse me 1 second.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mom. Yes. I'm on the podcast now with my friend. That's my wife checking in.
Hey, you gotta take that one, bro. I'm with you.
Yes, sir.
So you guys had not lost a game in the county, right? And that was the same thing that we did. My 4 years at Atlantic, nobody in Palm Beach County ever beat us.
You know what? The thing was back in the time when I was in school. The thing was, why don't Carver and Seacrest play each other?
Right.
Exactly. A lot of that was an interesting thing that everybody wanted to see happen. And we had our little talk up. They had their talk up, and again, like Randy, it would mostly be with Randy when we on 6 when we would be out there. We ought to see somebody else that go to Carver. Some of the guys who I knew and was there, and we would. I tell you what, we would do a lot. We would leave our school. We would leave Seacrest and drive over to Carver and go to the cafeteria to eat because boy, look, ain't nothing. Ain't nobody could beat Miss Bean and that cook in the cafeteria cooking, boy. So we did that a lot of times, man. Go there and eat lunch because it was just not the type of food wasn't served over there that we grew up on.
That's right.
So we did that a lot.
It's not like that home cooking now. So let's talk about it. You guys had great records at Seacrest, right? In the county, like I said, you guys at one time y'all won 21 or 22, right? And then now let me ask you this before I go on with this. I want to get to this point before I go on. So as a junior, did you play on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball?
Defense.
What position?
Safety.
Okay. Now, who was in the secondary with you your junior year?
Simi was the other safety. Ronald was one of the little
corners.
Linebacker.
No.
Simi. Ronald and I played cornerback. Simi played safety.
Okay.
Me and Ronald was the corners. Simi was the safety with Allen. Allen, he was what Allen's first name? He was a quarterback. Allen was the quarterback his senior year.
Okay.
You might have his. I don't know if you got his name there.
I think I do.
His name is Allen Franklin.
Alan Franklin.
That's his name. Alan Franklin.
He played.
It's been a long time ago now. Okay, it's been a long time ago. 50 years.
Both sides of the ball. Now let me ask you a question. When Steve Harden was playing quarterback, did he play just offense or he played offense and defense?
No, just offense.
Just offense. Okay. All right. Well, Franklin played both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Franklin. Franklin. See, me, Simi, and Ronald and Franklin was the defensive backfield in our junior year. But we got to play some offense.
Right.
Because see, I'm gonna tell you what Coffee did. I mean, not Coffee. Cooper and Wilder. He named the backfield every year a certain group of a type of car. You know, when Doug Davis was there and everything, they were called the Thunder and Herd.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They were called the Thunder and Herd because there was a big backs. I mean, Greg Meeks.
Yes.
Greg Meeks and Doug Davis.
Yes, sir.
And I forgot the other running back we had. His name was, he was a tough guy too. He was his body was chiseled. You know, I can't remember his name. But them boys was big guys. These you talking about 200-some pound running backs. Now when they graduated, we came along and he named us the he called us because of the quickness. He named us racing cars. We had racing car names. Right. Rockhead. He did. Rock was TR4 and something. And Simeon was this, and I forgot what. I don't even remember my name. But we all had the symbols on our helmet after cars.
Okay.
But we were smaller and faster. But it was funny and
that's funny, man.
You know, when I think back at that, how and then after we left, I don't know what you guys, you know, did he give you guys a name?
Well, now when I played, Wilder was a head coach when I got to high school.
Okay,
Coach Cooper had Coach Cooper was still on campus, but he wasn't coaching anymore. But Coach Wilder had us going, man. I mean, he was a great coach. You know, an offensive minded guy. He was good. He had a great coaching staff. Yeah. He was a slick guy. When I say slick, he knew the little nuances, you know, to get things done. And then when I started playing quarterback, you know, of course, we can do a lot of different things. You know, one of the things that we did extremely well, we ran that 528, 529, 521 bootleg.
You remember that play?
Oh, I was the quarterback, man. I'm calling the shots. I really
you know, how did you like that counter that he had? He had a counter play.
Let me tell you something.
That was a bad play.
Counter. Listen to me now. That counter was the most beautiful play we had in our offense.
Yep.
That counter.
He would set that up on teams, man. He would run a certain play. He set it up nicely by running a certain play. And then he would come back with that trap counter, boy.
Well, what he would do, he would run the quick pitch.
Oh yeah.
When the wingback will move on ready set, he'll take off running, right? And by the time we get it about a tackle, we'll toss it. And so we run that quick pitch, and then all of a sudden we'll turn around, we'll fake that quick pitch, and everything, the lineman pull, and everybody come underneath and you hand that count. That
trap. That's because his offense ran a fullback.
That's right.
He ran a fullback and two wings. He ran the two wings and a fullback.
That's it.
And Ronald played one, and Simi played. Was it Simi? Yeah, Ronald played one, and Simi played one. I played fullback.
You played fullback. That's right.
And I know Ronald played one, and I'm thinking was it Simi? And then, but we had a lot of guys who again, like you said, that was backups. They played, you know, they were second, right. They played, and they, you know, but the starters was you know, everybody can't start, so you know, a certain people, people started, but people brought plays in, so they did get a chance to play because they would bring plays in.
Well, Horace, now, so let me ask you this, because you played with some guys, some dynamic guys. You played as a junior. You had Rock Matthews, you know, Dennis Matthews run the ball, and he was a thoroughbred. Right.
Oh, Rock. And he was fast as what do you call them cheetahs? Them cheetahs, fast, boy.
Hey, Rock could run. You know, when I was a kid, man, I used to go in the gym. You know, Rock was all on the track. He had all the records at Seacrest.
Yeah.
On the track and field.
He ran track.
You know, they had that stuff in the gym up there.
Oh yeah.
Right over the boys' locker room.
Yeah.
You're right. I used to go in there, Horace, and look up there, man. And I say, man, I want to break one of the records. I mean, I used to almost every time I went in there, I would look up there.
Right. That was the goal. It was up there far was to make you guys want to do that.
Well,
That's the purpose of it.
I wanted to do it, and before I left, I got 2 of them off that board. But you had Rock, you had Dennis Matthews, right?
Yeah.
And as a 10th grader, did you play 10th grade varsity on 10th grade?
No, we played. We moved up to the varsity after the junior varsity season was over.
Right.
I think they had about 3 or 4 more games left.
Right.
But we only played like 8 games, I believe.
Right.
So I think they had about 2 or 3 games left. But a lot of days we practiced with them.
Oh, absolutely.
Practice with them. But then the last 2 games, after the last 2 or 3 games that was left, we actually played on the team with them.
Right.
But a lot of it is practice. We didn't play a lot.
Right.
But we kept playing, going on with the season,
right.
And that helped us because the same thing they were doing, Wilder knew that, and that just really helped us. Cutto got the plays and the system down even better. Our next year up, our senior years.
It was your time. So we know Dennis was a fast guy. He was great.
Oh yeah.
But then your senior year, you led the team in rushing.
Yeah.
You led the team in rushing.
Yeah.
Right. And in the same backfield you had one of the most explosive Seahawks of all time. I haven't seen them all, but I know wasn't nobody as explosive as Ronnie Mack.
Ronald was Ronald was the type of guy who could break one anytime.
Anytime.
You know who he was like? Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, that's right.
If Ronald catch, and he come out of the backfield catching balls all the time too, because he played flanker. Right. He was a flanker.
Right.
And he'll be the runner. He would line up as one of the wing backs, or he'll line up as a flanker. Coach Coffey had plays designed just for not Coffey. Wilder had plays designed just for Ronald.
For Ronnie, right.
Ronald was a natural athlete, man. Ronald.
Hey, listen, Horace. So, all right. So now, I know all y'all, right?
Yeah.
I'm a little boy. I can see you at the store. I'm not going to say nothing to you. I know who you are, right?
And I knew who you were.
Right. And so I would see Ronnie Mack. And, when I was in middle school, I was taller than Ronnie Mack. Right. I'm at the same height that I am today in the 8th grade. I haven't grown.
Ronald was about 5'7" and a half, 5'8".
5'7.5", right.
Yeah.
So
height we all was.
I know about him. I know how fast he was, but I'm gonna tell you what got me. Remember, I just told you how I should go in the gym, look at the track records on the board?
Right.
Ronnie Mack name was up there. Ronnie Mack, at 5'7", however tall he was, had the high jump record at Seacrest. He jumped 6'8" at his height. So that showed me he got explosion.
Oh, yeah.
That dude can get up. And we know he was fast. So he was Tyreek Hill, no doubt about it. Anytime he catch it, he'll be gone.
Look here, you know how Coach Wilder used to have you do them sprints? Them closeout sprints.
Yep.
And practice over. You didn't practice your tail off. You tired, and he would have you running them sprints. You didn't really realize how important that was, and how much endurance that built and stamina you built up, and was ready for the game. But we played certain teams, and it's like they were. You could see them. We could tell when they tired because we run a play, and we'll run that same. Coach Wilder would run that same play 3 and 4 times back, and we would make them. He would run it until they stop it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You have to stop it.
And so we was in good shape. And now we got to run these plays. Ronald would play like he got a cramp and can't run, but he would outrun everybody. The backs ran against the backs. The linemen ran with the linemen. And everybody, the positions ran kind of like with the positions. And Ronald would play like he cramping and trying to not get out of it. But you know what? Like now, we're just high school players, but Coach Coffey, he knew how to give certain players leeway to keep things cool. He didn't, like in the pros, you see certain players get certain privileges.
Oh,
everybody didn't get the same privilege that Ronald got sometimes.
Right.
For getting out of practice with something,
Well, now,
and he just had natural ability. Ronald missed practice Wednesday, like he, whatever, a Thursday, but come Friday night, Ronald was starting.
He ready to go. He's ready to go.
He's ready. He's ready
to go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, Coach Wilder. We talk about those wind sprints, right? So, my junior year, we running wind sprints at the end of practice. And Horace, I'm in the middle of the group. I'm just running with my buddies, right?
Yeah.
I'm just really just jogging for me, right? And so after practice, he sent everybody up. I'm getting ready to go up. He said, "No, Bobby, I want you to stay. I need you to stay here with me." What he said to me changed my life. This is what he said to me. He said, "Bobby, are you the fastest guy on the team?" And I'm like, "Coach, you don't know?" I'm looking at him like, "I thought you knew that, right?"
He did.
He used to call me Bullet Bob. That was my name, Bullet Bob. And so I said, "Yeah, Coach, I am." He said, "Well, why are you in the middle of the pack when we're doing wind sprints?" And then he followed up with this question. He said, "Bobby, are you my quarterback?" I said, "Coach, you know I'm your quarterback." He said, "Well, I promise you one thing. If you will lead by example and lead out front, these guys will follow you anywhere you go." That changed my life. That was the last day I ever loafed at the end of practice doing wind sprints. Because see, Horace, during my day, I played quarterback, I played free safety, I was the punter, I was the punt returner, I was the kickoff returner. The only time I came off the field, was on the kickoff team. That's the only time I came off the field. Just one play, and I go back out there, right? And so I had to be in shape.
Yeah, of course.
But it changed my life, and what it made me do, it made me lead. It put me out front.
That's what he wanted from you.
Then I can push my teammates to get better. Because I used to, as a quarterback, I used to go over with the lineman over to the sled, right? And I would call everything on a quick count. And boy, they'd be tired. They'd be looking up at me. Give us bruh, we got to get ready for Friday night. We got to get ready to go. And when Friday night came, them boys was blocking their butt off, right?
And that's what he wanted to see out of you, because
that's what he wanted to see.
Exactly. And guess what, Bobby? You guys had some good teams, man.
We had some good teams.
You had some good teams. Y'all, Atlantic has, actually, I think y'all had better teams than we had. Because you guys went to the state. One time y'all went. I don't know how deep did you all go in the state playoffs, but y'all went pretty deep in one of them, didn't you?
Well, my 4 years in high school as a freshman, of course, I wasn't playing football. I was playing my other last year. I played with the Delray Rocks, but they were undefeated. They lost the state title game. That's what I'm saying. They won a couple playoffs. They lost the state title game. Yeah, they lost to Haines City in the state title game at Atlantic. Then my sophomore year, when I got on the varsity, we were 7-1-1. We tied a game with Glade Central, right? The first game of the year, we tied with Glade Central. Yeah. And some kind of way, they won the tiebreaker. And they went on and won state that year, right? Yeah. And then we come back my junior year, and we went all the way to the state title game. We lost the state title game my junior year to Ocala Forest. And then my senior year, we were undefeated and lost the state title game by 1 point to Panama City Bay High. So in my 4 years of high school, we played for 3 title games.
Yeah, right.
So, so we were doing it. But one of the things, Horace, I wish we had did different. Because, back then, football was always sold as a tough thing, right? You had to be tough to play. We'll have 300 kids come out for the football team, but we won't keep with 28.
They wanted to see what it was like and to realize that this ain't no flag football game.
No flag football. But talking about talent, see, y'all had a talent issue. Carver had a talent issue. We had a talent issue. Now, 2 of the best athletes that I ever played with in high school, one was a guy named Mo Wesley and another named Chuck Jones.
No, both of them.
Chuck Jones And Mo Wesley didn't play football until their senior year in high school.
Chuck, I know didn't do that until then. I know about him, but I didn't know Lil Moke didn't play football.
But
he didn't play football with the Rocks and stuff.
He did with the Rocks, but he didn't play at Atlantic until the varsity football until his senior year.
To his senior year, okay,
right?
Okay.
Because
I didn't know, but I know about Chuck. I know because he told me about that. I got to,
And listen, Chuck Jones was a thoroughbred of an athlete, bro. And Chuck Jones took care of me in high school because I was a young guy playing varsity basketball with Chuck and running track with Chuck. And so Chuck would come pick me up. I wouldn't have to catch a bus. He'd drive me to school. And we hang out like that. And,
well, that was good.
We were best of friends, man.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from him. And but when he came out, now you talking about running that counter? Can't nobody run that counter like Chuck Jones.
Okay.
You know he was tall, right?
Yeah, he's a little
right. Man, when he carried that corner, he looked like what's the old running back name? Lenny Moe from the Baltimore Colts.
From the Colts.
He looked like Lenny Moe coming around that corner, bro. I'm telling you. You I don't know if you remember this tall guy I think he played for Cincinnati, but Chuck Muncie. Man, I know you ever heard of him. Listen, I played against Chuck Muncie. You did? I was playing with the Saints when I first got to Atlanta, and then they traded him and Wes Chandler to the San Diego Chargers, and then he played with San Diego. Chuck Muncie was a bad boy. Yeah, I like the way he ran. That he reminded Vincent Noble. Vincent Noble used to run like that. Like wait a minute now. Wait a minute. He was sitting down when he run, man. Hold on now. You say who? Vincent who? Vince Nobles. Vince Noble was a monster, wasn't he? Well, yes, goodness. He was a monster. He could, again, there wasn't in the stars, but Carver had so many great athletes, man. And I mean, that information that you shared with me, right? I had brought back memories, because, like I said, my 7th grade year and 8th grade year, I was on one of the trainers. Okay, so I got to go see those guys play every day. You were up close and personal. Yeah, I got them to see them play practice every day, and got them to see them playing games and in the real games, and over in Belle Glade and up in West Palm Beach and down to Dillard. The schools that we went to play and everything, I saw him play. And George Williams, him and my other Uncle Larry, George Williams and Larry, they both played for Cooper. They did? And, Coach Cooper, yes, they played. Okay. George Sutton, Jack Tatum. Yes, sir. A lot of the guys with Timmy Wallace. Man. You call us. I was there. I was a trainer, so I saw these guys as I was coming up, man, and everything. And it was nice. It had to be special. I done forgot some of this stuff, man, but it was to be on that bus, going on those trips, man, and they be singing those old Carver songs and everything. Now, Horace, I'm gonna tell you what we got a chance to do. My generation, right? So we just behind you guys. So when you're in high school, I'm like in the 5th, 6th, 7th grade, right? So of course we got the experience, the Carver High, the band. We even did a show one time. We did a show one time, Horace, on the Carver High band. We had them all on the show, right? Yeah. Mr. Wesley, about within a year. We had them all on the show, man. It was a great show. I wish I would have seen that. I wish I had got a hold of this earlier. The whole thing was an experience. Oh, yeah. Because we had a great band. We had a great football team, right? And then you had those of us who was behind looking up, hoping and a wishing and a waiting for our time. Right? Oh, yeah. Everybody was waiting on their time, right? That's right. And so at Spady Elementary in 1968, Bill Smith, who founded the Delray Rocks, who's a special man, by the way. He's a special man. And Bill Smith gave us an outlet, my generation, my age group, an opportunity to play organized football and emulate our heroes. Yeah. All of you guys, right? Because that's when it started. Man, listen, up until that time, there was we didn't have no organized. You have no organized like that. Right. Where we played other, And so now
Played this Sandlot.
I'm out there with my number 10 on. I was Anthony Penn when I played the Rock.
Yeah.
They should have put Penn name on the back of my number 10 jersey when I was playing.
Yeah, well, you got to be every kid that's never been anything. They've always had somebody who they looked up to, you know.
I mean, and it was special. So now here I am, a son of a preacher who didn't get a chance to go to all the Carmel High games, had to stay home on Friday nights, right? So I can hear the band playing.
Right.
And then sometimes that's when we were living in Carmel Park. That was
right, you can see the lights.
That was early on. In my room, I had my daddy binoculars, and I would always have binoculars on the field, right? And so if they got on a certain hash, I can see some plays. But then most times you can't hardly see it. It come in and out. Right?
Well, people.
But I'll be in that window all night trying to catch somebody just to come on there. I could hear the band playing from my house. I just couldn't go.
I can see you now.
Oh my God. And so then when I found out about Seacrest was playing on the radio, and I heard you guys playing, right? And so I couldn't see you, but the most powerful tool that man possess is their mind. Okay? The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he.
Yeah.
All right? So I was able to visualize, dream, and wait on my time. And so even though I didn't see you play personally, I heard you play more than I saw Carver play. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
I heard you play. I know you was a fullback. I know you. And see, I was talking with Rock. We was talking. And was it Rock? I think it was Rock said, I think Horace played one of the wing backs. I said, no, man. I said, no. I said, Horace played fullback, man.
Right. Yeah, I was a fullback.
I said, Horace played fullback. I said, I know he played fullback, right?
The funny thing is, Bobby, I mean, I was like 158, 160, but I was heavier than Simeon Ronald, you know?
Right.
I was heavier than those guys were, and Fallon Franklin. And I wasn't, like I'm saying, the heaviest when I left high school, I was at 168. When after my first year up in Chowan, I got to 178, and then and it still was little, but not big. But I was, we was in great shape. Coach, we was in good shape, and there was, and then my sophomore year, I got up to 180. And boy, I haven't gotten down past one. I haven't since leaving college. I haven't gotten past 180 yet. I'm still up there, man. I was 193 now.
Hey, the hardest thing for us to do is to get that old weight back.
Yeah, it's good.
And I was a little dude, and you know what? I never played football my whole life. A lot of people say that's not true. When I went to Florida State, they put it this way. Coach Bowden thought I weighed 170 pounds. That's what they told him. But in college, you know how they make you weigh in practice, and then you have to weigh out? Yeah. I ain't weigh but 145. And so you can imagine weighing 145 and what I weighed when I came off the field.
Around about
138, 137, 135, right? So you lose 8 to 10 pounds of water weight.
Right, exactly.
And Coach Bowden thought I was a liability. I said I didn't know this at the time. So I go out there, and the end of the first week, I knocked the tight end out. I knocked him out cold in practice. I knocked him out, and never had another conversation about my weight. And then when I graduated 4 years later, when I come out 4 years later and got drafted, a lot of people don't believe me when I tell them this. I only weighed 155 the day I got drafted.
It's almost unthinkable. Seriously. I mean,
it is, right?
It's unthinkable.
It's unthinkable.
Right now, you put a guy out on the field, and some of the little tight wide receivers, those guys are light like that. But when you're trying to tackle a guy who's about 210 or 195, especially when those running backs,
right,
and you out there with that 140 something, that you would think that you're the one who's gonna get to be punished.
Hey, well, I tell you this, I did get punished.
Well,
but I want to play so bad, I kept doing it again and again and again. It hurt so good.
I can imagine what, back at that time, what your parents thought at the moment. Boy, they just praying and hoping that you don't get hurt out there, man.
I'm gonna tell you that. I'm glad you mentioned my parents, because that's another thing, right? The support I had in my home was so great.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So my mom always would tell me, Bobby, there ain't nothing you can't do. You can do it.
Oh, she put that in there.
Bruh, let me tell you
put that in there.
Oh,
yeah.
Bruh.
Oh, yeah.
My mama, when I tell you this, I had two people that were in my mastermind group. I didn't know it was a mastermind group then, but it was a mastermind group. All right. My mother, because she spoke it into me.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Coffey, because we were both dreaming and trying to go to the same place. And so we used to, like when kids from Carver would go to college and they come back, they quit. Larry called me. He said, man, you ain't gonna believe such and such done came home. And Will said, man, if we get that opportunity, we ain't coming back.
Right, yeah.
And if we get that, we're in elementary school, Horace, talking like this. Man, if we get that chance, we're not coming back home unless we get hurt.
You guys came along at a good time, man. A good time.
It was the best time.
It was a good time.
It was the best time.
Yeah, you had a lot of people ahead of you that and then having that key thing, because again, that mindset that your mother and your parents gave you and Larry Coffey. This is where it all is. This is where it's all at, though. You got to have it here, and it'll transform into here. You got to have that passion for it and transform it. And you can do almost anything, man. If you really want
anything you put your mind to, What's the old proverb? If you can conceive it, if you can see it, you can conceive it, you can achieve it, right?
And that's that. I believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes things is cut short from accidents and injuries. But it wasn't because that it wasn't there up here.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. Because you got to get the body physically ready for the mental aspects of that game. It's a tough, not just that game. Anything that you really want to achieve.
And listen, let me say this. If we look at all the major sports, right? Which sport would you say is the least physical out of all of them?
All sports?
Football, basketball, baseball, golf, track. Well, just any of those major sports. Soccer. What is the least physical?
The least physical, I would say, would be golf, but it's not. Golf is a game you got to get in great shape.
People don't know how physical golf is, right?
There you are. That's what you would think that, because of the way you look at it, you play it by yourself. In other words, you're playing competition, but you're not hitting yourself and you ain't running against yourself. Yeah. But you got to be in shape.
You got to be in great shape. Tiger changed the game.
Of course.
See, before Tiger, nobody was in physical shape.
Of course.
Then Tiger started working out. He's benching over 300. Hitting a golf ball farther than anybody. And so guess what? He changed the game.
Yeah.
And so now everybody has adopted that. I was looking at some of those guys yesterday that's playing the Masters, and they fit. That guy wasn't on the golf course pre-Tiger. Oh. They all had guts right here, and they hit the ball.
Yeah.
They were not in that kind of shape and condition. No. These guys in shape now.
Oh, of course, because of guys that when Tiger came along, he was a kid.
He was a kid, wasn't he?
And he did things that everybody the buzz. I had a friend say, "Who's this little black kid, man? That's out there in California. He's beating everybody." It's, and then he said, "Bush, my friend named Bobby Jones he was from Maryland." Was at IBM. He says, "Man, you gotta see, you gotta see him. You gotta see him." He said, "Man, this kid, you ain't never seen no." I said, he said, he's in college. He wasn't even in college. He said, "But this boy he's gonna be a pro. He's gonna be a pro." He said, "Watch what I tell you." He said, "I'll tell you this now," and I'll never forget. But he said, he's going to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's going to be famous. He said you can see it, and you know, I didn't play golf then, but I didn't even was interested in golf.
Right.
But he was. And he would always,
but man,
try to get me to go play sometime, but I did a couple times, but it wasn't my game,
Well, I'm gonna tell you something about that golf game. It's a great game, right?
Yeah.
I played in a tournament in Tallahassee last week. Friday. Yeah, I went down to Tallahassee, played with the FSU group.
Okay.
But anyway, that little ball, you tee it up, you put it on the tee, right? It's not moving. It don't come at you in the shape of a curveball, slider, knuckleball, fastball. It's just sitting there.
Right. That's what I thought it was so.
And you get up there and you look out there in the fairway before you hit. And you line up right, get your shoulders right, get your feet right. And let's say it's wide open. Let's say we're playing in South Florida. It's wide open. And you can't hit that ball consistently in the middle of that fairway to save your life. But I know guys go out there on that baseball diamond and they hit that ball, they'll place that ball every time, put it in play, right? But that little ball ain't moving. And it's the hardest game on the planet to play. That sport, Horace, is the only sport where the number one player in the world don't win every tournament.
Right.
Matter of fact, he don't even win.
Right.
He don't even win 80% of the time. Matter of fact, he don't even win 40% of the time.
Yeah.
But he may finish in the top 5 or top 10. He's always finishing in the top group.
Right.
But he might not even win a tournament that year. But
I have looked at, I have looked at some stats, and then I'll look at, because see, the only reason I'll look at the golf stats is because, well, I didn't know anybody who famous, but there were some black guys who played golf before Tiger, and they were good. They just didn't make it
like that.
They just didn't get as good as he did. They didn't get where he got to.
Right.
Here's what I'm saying. Like you was talking about the guy who's number one in the world or whatever. He may not win be the champ of these different tournaments, but at the end of the year, he's won the most money because of the the position that he was second in this tournament. Right. He was third in this one.
That
he didn't win. He didn't actually win the tournament, but he's got so many second and third places for it that he got more money than all of them.
It's no joke, and I didn't realize that until it's been some years ago. It could have been the early 2000s. It could have been the 90s.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Duvall. He played golf at Georgia Tech, and they kept saying he was the number one player in the world. So I'm looking at him, but they said, but he hadn't won a tournament this year. I go, what? Well, how's he right. He ain't won. How's he gonna be number one? And so I didn't know about that at the time. Yeah. And that amazed me, because any other sport, the best player gonna win 80 to 85% of the time.
Yeah,
they're gonna win 80 to 85% of the time, every time. I don't care if it's track, basketball, football for sure, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna win most of the time. The best team gonna win. They may have a letdown on one game or so, but they're gonna come right back the next week and win.
But you know what's funny? Duplicating a championship season. Duplicating it is one of the hardest things to do. Is duplicate. Now you get teams that do it, and again, sometimes the best team don't always win. The team that's most athletic don't always win sometimes.
Hey, listen, I can tell you about that.
Well, I'm pretty sure you've experienced that.
I can tell you about that. That's true.
We lost the game over in Ferrum, Virginia, to a team. We were way better than.
Right.
We know this physically. Right. We had watched films of this team and seen them all week when we played them. But we got out there. And Bobby, it was so cold, man. I ain't never been that cold in my life, man.
Wow.
I couldn't even feel the ball.
Wow.
I couldn't feel it. I fumbled the ball 3 times.
Wow.
Because I couldn't feel it.
You couldn't feel it, right? Exactly.
Those guys out there, we had a heater on our side.
Mm-hmm.
We had on long johns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Guys out there in short, they didn't have the socks. You know, we had socks come all the way up our leg, man.
Hey.
Those guys had on short sleeve shirts, had on those short socks, and they beat the crap out of us out there that night, man.
You were in college? You were in college then?
Yes, man, they beat the crap out of us, man.
Listen.
Was so cool. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, we athletic wise, we knew we were the better team.
Oh, we were better team, but we didn't.
We lost 2 games that year. We lost 8-2. But that was one of the teams that beat the crap out of us out there that night, and we thought we were going to beat them.
Y'all had a pretty good team up there, though. There's a bunch of guys. How many guys from Delray was up there?
From Delray was me, Sim, and Ronald.
You, Sim, and Ronald.
Me, Sim, and Ronald from Delray. Now, there was a couple more guys there from Florida. One was from Vero.
Okay.
One was from the Panhandle.
Okay.
And I think I'm trying to think, was one from Jacksonville.
Okay.
But from Delray, it was just us 3.
Just all 3.
But there was a lot of guys from Virginia and North Carolina. There was some people from New York there. Mm-hmm. One of our best friends, he was from a little town in North Carolina outside of Charlotte. Uh-huh. Was where he's from. Uh-huh. And he took us down to Charlotte a lot, but we called him Gibby. Okay, we brought him down here with us we brought him down here the first Thanksgiving, and when he saw he saw a coconut tree. I don't know how he said that. He said, "What's them, pineapples?" No, man, pineapples don't grow up in the tree. But he tickled us, man.
Oh my God!
That was his first time coming down to Florida, but he was a real nice guy. He showed us around, and
that's cool.
We didn't know nowhere to go up there, but he was the type of guy.
Well, I tell you what, Horace. You know, you mentioned being cold like that, right? See, we are fortunate where we come from. And, you know, we get to thinking that the whole world is all about our little world and Beach.
Yeah, right.
So we're fortunate, man, because, you know, Thanksgiving Day and, you know, at the end of the football season, we're still 75-80.
Exactly. We pretty much year round like that.
Yeah, we see a game on TV. Like I remember when the Cowboys played the Packers in the Ice Bowl.
Oh my goodness!
I'm seeing this stuff, man.
Yeah,
I'm going like, man, why are you playing that kind of weather? Well, when I went to college, I got it. In Tallahassee, we played Memphis State. They were Memphis State back then. It was 16 degrees.
Who goes out in that? Who play football in that?
And so I never got used to it. And then when I got in the league, of course, you know, I got it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we played the coldest game I played in. We played in Chicago in '85, the year the Bears won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
20 below zero with the wind chill.
You know what puzzles me still as of now? Mm-hmm. How do they get in shape? How do you condition your mind to play in that kind of weather? Well, I mean, it's so cold. I see. I couldn't focus on football when I was cold like that. I don't know how do you focus out there? I thought maybe they put something in you, y'all giving y'all something.
The hardest thing to do in the cold is catch the ball.
Yes.
Okay. So by the time when that happened in '85, my fingers were not cold because they had just came out. Billy White shoes, who's my roommate, used to wear these scuba gloves. All right, they were scuba gloves that you go in the water. You know, when you deep, scuba gloves,
scuba diving and all that.
Yeah, he had some, and boy, he'd be catching everything. Bam, bam, bam. So and then at the time they had these little leather gloves they would give everybody else, and they'd be cold. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He said, Bobby, he said, man, you need to get some of these scuba gloves. He said, because man, it's warm on the inside of here. Man, I got me some. My fingers were good, right? But the problem when you playing weather like 20 below, it don't matter what you got. Cold is cold.
Yeah.
And what they do, they come out just like you say in short sleeve shirt. It's an intimidating factor, right? It's a psychological deal when they come out like that. It's 20 below. They got on short sleeve. But I found out a couple years later, I found out how they do that. There's a secret to it.
And I always thought that.
There's a secret
I
to it.
always thought there's something that they
Here's what you have
do.
to do. Here's what you have to do. You have to put Vaseline on your arms.
And close your pores.
It closes your pores, right? That's the secret.
Yes, got that. See, now see,
Yeah,
I didn't. It's such a simple thing that I never thought that.
Never thought that. That's what they do. Yeah. Because I'm going like, man, they got to be cold just like I'm cold now. Come on now.
How can these guys play out there? And I said, how can they play out there in this weather like that? Oh my goodness!
And you know, Walter Payton run that ball that day too, bro.
Oh yeah.
He would run that ball. Man.
You know what they called him, right?
Huh?
You know what his nickname was, right?
Sweetness.
Sweetness. Sweetness, yeah.
Sweetness was running that ball that day. That joker disappeared on me one time out there, man. I'm telling you. I saw him.
But you went to hit him?
I went to hit him.
Right.
I saw him, and all of a sudden, I didn't see him.
It was good.
And what he did, I was coming up to hit him, and he did a hard spin move on the inside. And he spun so hard, he ended up falling down, right? But it's like he was dead. All of a sudden, he was gone. Where
he at? He was amazing, man.
Hey,
and
listen,
the funny thing about that, and I tell people that all the time, I say, you'll be surprised that these little old colleges that has a student body of 15,000,
right,
as opposed to a school that's got 70,000 students there.
Right, exactly.
You find some of the best gyms or the best backs. I said the reason why you don't hear nothing about them is because they don't get that exposure.
They don't get exposure.
They don't get that exposure. They don't play on TV. And
well,
so you don't know nothing about them until they get a try. So many of them, in a school like Grambling, and they had a great coach, and stuff like that, and so many major colleges. Look at Jerry Rice, come out of a little school up in Mississippi you never heard of, But
hey, this is what I tell kids. Nowadays, kids are so they want to make it, right? And so I got to go play 5-star in college. No, you don't.
No.
I said, all you got to do, do this. When you watch an NFL game, don't leave in the beginning of the game. Wait till the players come and introduce themselves and tell you where they're from. Everybody don't come from Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, and Miami, right? You'll hear school names you ain't never heard of before.
Yeah.
But they play on Sunday. So don't think you got to be a 5-star to make it.
Right.
Listen, you just got to go, and whatever opportunity you get, go take advantage of it.
That's it.
Jerry Rice went to Mississippi Valley State.
Yep. Never heard of the school before.
Terrell Owens went to Tennessee Chattanooga. Come on, man. These guys are Hall of Fame NFL players.
Right.
It don't matter where you play. Go and do the work. Hey, look, Horace, man, look, bless you, man. We run out of time.
All right, Bobby, it's been great. I'm going to remember this forever. Long as I'm living, I'll remember this day, man.
Hey, we're going to do it again. We're going to get a group of Seacrest guys together. We're going to chop it up. We're going to have a good time, man, right?
Keep me in the loop, Bobby. Keep me in the loop.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
man, it's been a ball.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for tonight. If you like the show, comment, share it with your friends. I'm your host, Bobby Butler, and tonight we had the great legend from Delray Beach himself, Mr. Horace Bush.
You make me feel like I've done something.
You did something, bro. I promise you did something.
All right, Bobby. Take care. God bless you and your family, man.
All right, you too.